Hey, what's up, guys? This is Joe Simonette, Ronnie Jackson, Sean Lowe, and
Diana, say ciao.
yes, and we're going to talk today about the other side of real estate, not just regular sales, but we're going to talk about our own personal experiences in real estate investment, creative finance, fix and flip, novation, like pretty much the whole gamut of things, assumptions, conversations we've had, deals we've done, and just a little bit of everything. So, Sean and Diana, why don't you guys start it off, because you guys are working on a novation deal right now, which is pretty interesting. So do you guys want to kind of talk more about that?
Go ahead,
Yeah,
babe.
yeah, absolutely. So this deal kind of fell on my lap. I am a registered nurse, and I do have a network with a bunch of nurses that I work with, and they knew that I was in real estate. We have a real estate business. I have it with Sean, and we kind of run it together, and they come to me usually for all real estate things. And this coworker of mine, she was in a hole. She was in just financial burdens, and she needed help selling her home, but she didn't have the money at all to even put into fixing and putting into listing. So we decided, hey, let's do a partnership. Let me invest in fixing up your home, and then we'll start listing it and doing the novation side and equity splits.
And she did attempt to sell it twice. So she did attempt in 2016 to sell it. I think that's around the time that she hit her first financial stride. I guess that kind of messed things up. It didn't sell. It sat for like 54 days, and they couldn't sell it. And I think they figured a way out of that little hole. So they held on to that house until now, and then they did try to list again. We initially thought we were gonna help them out, but the husband wanted to go with the agent that helped them buy the house in the first place.
Yeah.
And that agent did list it essentially on express offers, and they didn't get any offers, and it sat again. So they got really worried, and they reached out to us, and that's where we kind of took control of the situation, and we threw a couple ideas at them, mostly rehabbing the things that were necessary, and then essentially listing it. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're at the rehab process. So it
Awesome.
should be completed in another week and a half or so.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe 3.
So you guys have essentially found a solution for the seller, and it's a more creative deal because not all agents have those resources, right?
That's exactly it.
To actually be able to get the property, what we would call market ready,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Market ready, turnkey, because most buyers in today's market, they have families, they have careers, and so they're not going to spend a lot of time on doing those renovations if you put it on the market like that. And was that a reason that she said that it didn't sell those 2 times? I'm just curious, what her feedback was.
The first time, I think it could have been price. I wasn't an agent in 2009, so I don't really know what the market price should have been around that time frame. But I think they had it listed for $233,000. So it could have been overpriced. I really don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it was just situational. I'm not really sure. But the second time, I think it was, they were asking for how much were they asking initially when they listed with that agent just recently?
It was like
380.
380 was what they wanted, and this was the investment. Like they wanted to wholesale it for 380, but there was definitely not enough.
No,
even
with me calculating with the ARV, I would high estimate the house is valued at around like 430, somewhere in that range. So even after we're doing what we're doing to it, we're still going to sell it for about 420. Just to beat the market. We don't want to be the guy who is doing the price reductions to catch the market. So,
chase the market down.
Yeah, chase the market down. So this comes back to what you were saying, a lot of agents, they're great agents. They put in offers, but this is a different side of real estate that not every agent essentially is taught. Yep. Got to have a good mentor, got to have a good team, people that teach you and push you to learn new things. And I think that's where we kind of outshined the other agent, is we had options.
You have options, and you have tools, and you have resources.
Exactly, resources.
Right. And I think this agent had 20 years of experience.
He
just did the traditional way and
just
not
traditional.
They
were just
investing
a standard
side.
agent.
And so that's where we came in, and she wanted help from us.
Yeah, she needed hands-on, real help, and somebody to just take control of the situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
She actually gave Diana power of attorney for the house. So they have already moved. They're in another state now, and we have full control of the house, of rehabbing. No one's there. We're trying to get our contractors in and out as quick as possible. And she essentially, we broke down all the numbers to her. You know, we wanted everything to be very
transparent.
Yeah, very transparent.
I think the biggest thing was trust. She trusted me to take over.
Yeah.
And she was going through like a really hard transition, and she had to relocate in a very short time span, and she just didn't have the emotional
aptitude,
bandwidth to even deal with it anymore. So she's like, I need you to handle this. And I'm like, oh, I got you. Let's do this. And we partnered up.
So she was overwhelmed, and
completely
she just was pretty much just emotionally detached from the house at this point.
She was
and she was like, here's the keys. Here's the power of attorney.
Please. I trust
you guys
just
get it done.
Take care of it. Get it done.
Yeah.
And we broke down, you know, she is, believe it or not, initially she wouldn't have made a profit at all with the other agent. It would have been essentially like maybe $1,000 profit, or if that. She's actually going to profit with the way that we're doing, so she is still making money on this. And that was
30 grand.
Yeah, like 35-ish grand.
Yeah,
somewhere in there. But that's off of a situation that there's more to it, you know. But we don't want to, disclose other people's information.
Yep.
But yeah, she's gonna walk out with some money, which that's
awesome. So that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I think it needs to be. You need to give people a win-win, and it's not always just about us, making money and profiting. We actually do care and want to help people and do it the right way.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we kind of shine.
Yeah.
We do it together as a team.
100% integrity is where we are at. Yeah.
Oh, that's how you stay in business for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like if you're just in it for a quick buck and you're going to screw people over, like your name's going to get around and people aren't going to want to do business with you. Well, that's awesome, you guys. So let's transition now to Ronnie. And Ronnie, let's talk about, honestly, the last couple deals you've done. So you had one just closed, right? That was Juniper. Right? And so walk us through how you procured the deal, how long it took you to procure the deal, and then just like the whole process from there, from start to finish, and then from getting it on the market to closing to getting your check.
Okay, so usually I come in the office around 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I get on my Mojo dialer, and I'm calling the list looking for people who are in distressed situations, maybe close to bankruptcy, maybe close to foreclosure, or maybe I'm looking for a house that needs a lot of help and love, but the people just can't afford to do the remodels or renovations. So I'm making calls, generally speaking, from 8 to 11. And on this particular day that I got Juniper under contract, I was just making my regular calls. Got someone on the phone, called it in my script, and he told me he was thinking about selling. And so I went over and basically secured the deal, had him sign the contract, and we gave him about 45 days to close because that's what they wanted, to move all their stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say to move everything out. Right?
Yeah. And then the renovations began.
Tell them about the renovation and all of that, like
so
budget-wise.
What's the process on that,
and
Ronnie?
The process, just because people that haven't done any of that but might aspire to do it.
I put the house on the contract for $250. I think I got a hard money loan for 10%, and I believe 10% down, and I believe I had to take about 36 to close in.
Okay.
And then my monthly payment on that was I think a $1,900 payment. And so the first process we did, we just cleaned it out because they left the house completely trashed. There's tons of stuff everywhere. So we got that all cleaned up. I think it took about 5-6 20-yard dumpsters to get all the things out of there.
Oh my goodness.
It was that packed.
It was the garage. So the garage, they left tons of stuff.
Oh,
and the garage at the place is huge. It's big.
You should have hit us up, Ronnie. We love to pick those things, man.
No,
we look for gold in those
It was
things.
no goodies in there. Well, actually, there was like 5 TVs in there. So Jose and the contractors probably took those home. Yeah, but I didn't want to keep them.
Did it take a day to do all that? The junk?
Oh no! It took probably a week to get all that.
Because they had to.
No, probably 2 because
they had to empty the dumpster multiple times.
Bring it back multiple times.
How much did the dumpster cost you, Ronnie? Like each time?
I think total was about $1,300. Yeah.
That's actually not bad. And that's with the labor included on dumping it, or is that just the dump itself? Like, did you pay
Well,
someone to do the whole process, or did you have your contractors?
So
doing the
yeah,
dumping?
we paid them to demo the project.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's not a bad price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was just for the dumpster. The
Yeah.
$1,300 is just
No,
for the dumpster. There was additional
That's
fee
not bad,
for,
though.
for the demo. Yeah.
And so then walk them through, like, after you got it demoed, like, what was the process from there, with everything else?
Okay, so after they demoed it, and then they painted the outside first. So they painted the outside first, and I purposely did that because I wanted to see the neighbors that we were finally fixing this house up, and maybe
Draw
attract some,
attention.
Yeah, maybe attract some buyers first, right? Put
Smart.
a nice paint job on the outside, and then once we got all that taken care of, we moved inside,
Might need to do the same.
painted the whole entire house. We painted the house, and then the cabinets.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cabinets.
we painted the cabinets.
Yep.
Then installed new countertops and
flooring trim.
the flooring and trim. Did
Did you guys redo the bathrooms?
Yeah, we did the bathrooms.
Like the whole gut and everything? Like
No, actually, what I did for both bathrooms, I just repurposed it.
Nice.
Repurposed the tub.
Nice.
And
But they're
then
still
that really
usable.
turned out nice. And then
Yeah.
while I was on the phone talking to the guy, when he was completing his job, I was like, "Hey man, why don't you knock out my second bathroom for me?"
Well,
So he
you're at it.
refinished that one for free, I think.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Sometimes that's all
Love
it
that.
takes is
Yeah.
asking. She's good at that too. She always loves to negotiate a little bit on that end.
They're a little bit,
Yeah, I
Free-
mean, he was already
freebies.
there, and it wasn't really a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Minor work that
Yeah.
they just needed to do.
So we did that, and then completed with installing the fixtures.
Backsplash and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
electrical
like
plates.
the
Yeah,
wall,
yeah.
yeah.
And did a
Backsplash
backsplash in the, and then the last piece we did was just appliances. Yeah.
Do you have a good hook on those?
No, I mean, we just got it.
Anybody have a good hook on appliances?
We
We're
just got a
looking.
decent price. I think I got my appliances from Home Depot.
I think
but,
it was
yeah.
less than like $2,000 for everything.
Yeah, I
For
think
all
I
of
paid,
it?
yeah.
That's
So
Oh, that's not bad.
So for my refrigerator, the range, and the dishwasher, yeah, I think it came to about $1,400.
That's not
yeah.
bad at all.
That's not bad. That's actually better than I thought.
And
Yeah.
so after we did that,
Did
I
you
put
do
the
the roof?
no,
No,
we
roof
didn't.
was good?
No, the roof was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So after all that was done, I put it on the market. I listed it. Obviously, I'm a real estate agent, so I didn't have to pay.
Of course.
Yeah, I didn't have to
It's
pay
the
a listing
best part.
agent to list my property.
Save
Yeah.
money on
And so
that.
it was the I was so happy, man. It was only on the market for 5 days, and someone snatched it up.
That's
Yeah,
quick.
that's
dude.
what's
That's
up.
super quick.
Who says the market's slow?
I know.
Who said
What are you
it's
talking about?
crashing?
Man.
So it's on the
Business is
market
here.
for 5 days, and then I just got paid on the 31st. I just closed last month on the 31st.
Yes.
What was the age of the
Go.
house running?
That.
What was that?
Yeah, how old was the house? Was it an older house? Or
No, it was like
No, I think it was
80s.
80s? Okay.
89 or 91. I
Nice.
can't remember, but
So then, yeah, it was still functional then. I
No,
see.
it was solid. I mean, there's no floor plan reconfiguration that needed to be done. It was a Rambler,
Oh, nice.
one story. So
Ramblers are
people
desirable.
love those, and no, he knocked it out of the park. That was his first full remodel, and he knocked it out of the
Yeah.
park.
It's fun doing the
buddy.
full. It's stressful, but it's fun doing the full remodels.
Once you
No,
get the
that-
first one down, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
bring on the next.
Yeah.
the first one was my first deal was stressful.
I mean, they always
Let's talk
are.
about it.
Yeah.
What was stressful
What's the
about
first
it?
deal
Oh,
of stressfulness?
For some reason, Joe couldn't go to the title company with me, right?
Nope, I sent him there by
Figure it
himself.
out. Sink or swim.
Hey,
so,
you're-
so I went there,
you're
and
resourceful, bro.
They had numbers all wrong,
Oh,
and I was like,
no.
"Hey, man," and I called Joe, kind of panicking, because that was my first time having
Yeah.
to
And it's a lot of money.
spend 30 cents,
Yeah.
transfer $30,000, and I was just freaking out a little bit. So I called Joe and I talked to him, and then once he said, "Hey, man, you don't have to do this deal,
Yeah.
I can
That's
come
true.
take it out. I don't want you to be pressured.
Yep.
If you're feeling too much pressure, man, it's okay. Maybe you can take the next deal down." Now, once he started saying that, I was like,
Nah, I got this.
But that you bring up a good point. That's why I think Joe's such an
Oh my
amazing
gosh.
person.
Yes.
Is because he doesn't put us in situations that he doesn't think
He's
we
just
can't
like
handle.
if this the moment's too big for you right now, man, I understand.
Yeah. No.
He doesn't push you.
And I was like, hell no.
Bring it on.
But look, it
That's
worked
the extra
out.
push
I
you
mean,
needed.
he did it.
Yeah.
He didn't have to. He didn't
yeah,
have to do any repairs, and he made like 100 on that.
115 on that deal. I didn't do anything.
Wow.
But that's like
Yeah.
such a good story, though. It's
Yeah.
like, just because I bet you now after that first 30 grand that you had to put up, now you're not even. It still hurts a little scared, but
Yeah.
not as much as it was.
The
Now
first
you're
time,
getting used
yeah.
to it.
Definitely.
You know
The
that there
first
has to
time
be-
is
First
the
time.
toughest. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I try to tell people when they do like any kind of like questions of investing. You got to be able to have that little bit of, I guess, ability to get over the scaredness of putting money up. Because
Well, Joe was telling me it's just
calculated
normal.
risk.
He was
I said
he
if-
was like if you're not scared right now
Yeah.
at this moment, then you're not normal.
That's very true.
1,000%.
That's super
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing something that you haven't done before.
Yep.
Like, investing's risky to a point. Obviously, like the way I underwrite deals is I'm not gonna if it's a deal that I'm not gonna buy, or a deal that I would buy, like I'm gonna make sure Ronnie or any of you guys like.
Yep.
I'm gonna make sure it's the same terms and everything.
Yep.
Like,
and
that's-
normally you won't even if you have the time and the ability to, if you're not like tied into multiple flips or something, you'll usually join in with them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Like, and that also shows that like
Yeah.
like look, I'll sync with you if it's going
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
but like I trust Joe's numbers because you calculate it to be more safe, and a lot of the times it goes higher than that. But I like to be
conservative.
yeah,
man.
like I'd rather be off on the price by being down than, be way overpriced and then, like, oh man, it didn't sell for what I thought it was gonna. So, it's better to be that way, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always need a Joe when it comes to these
Yeah,
investment
it's true.
deals.
It's
A
true.
mentor is so important.
It
Yeah.
is.
And I think right now, especially with the way the market is shifting, like I feel like you have to be more conservative,
You do.
and you have to buy deeper because like things will shift and the market goes through cycles. But it's like you can't be aggressive and just be like, oh well, because those old numbers they're not working
No,
anymore.
they're not.
So
Wholesalers, they got to adjust those numbers, those ARVs.
yeah,
A lot of times they're incorrect. But we had this conversation before. I do look at the real estate market very similar to the stock market. When the stocks
Yeah.
are going down,
Yeah.
investors don't stop buying.
No.
They just change their formula to then account for a downward market.
1,000%.
And they buy on the lows or buy to sell on the lows. Short,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so the same thing applies to real estate. You just have to be more correct with your numbers and have good margins and be
Yeah.
safe, and you don't just stop buying. You can't stop. If you stop, you're gonna lose.
No. And that's why I always say, because like the herd mentality, when people are like, oh, well, I'm going to wait till the market to crash and this and that. But it's like things don't align like the way that people think they're going to align. Like people think that, okay, rates are going to be low, the market's going to crash at the same time. It doesn't work like that.
Nope.
Like the opportunity is in the most inopportune times.
It's now.
And yeah, it's exactly now. Rates are higher. Not everybody's wanting to buy.
Yep.
But then again, the herd, they think all the same.
Yep.
So then they miss the boat.
That's exactly
And then if you're an investor that's jumped out right now, or if you're even a retail buyer, like you're going to miss the biggest window of opportunity, because we already saw another drop in rates today. Like conventional was under 7% today.
Woo.
It was 6.85% today. So then that's because of the inflation report that came out, and it came out very, very well, where I think we went from 3.7% on the CPI to 3.2. So it's like things shift, and they shift fast in both directions. And that's why it's like people think they always have more time than they do.
They never
They're
do.
like, oh, well, I'll do it later. And then it's like, boom, it shifted again.
You can't predict where the market's going to go, no matter what market it is. Stock market, no one can tell you we can do predictive, guesses,
Yeah.
educated guesses, but no one knows where the stock's going to go. No one knows where the rates are going to go, but we have, things that can show us potentially where it can go. But, waiting for something to happen is one of the worst things you can do. You have to be preemptive, and you have to attack and go forward now, or you're just going to fall behind. And I think that's one of the things that changes is essentially different between all of us, is that we don't want to wait. We want to, take action now and do things now calculated as a team, conversate with each other. And that's what you need to do. You need to find someone that you talk to, communicate with, and essentially motivate. You motivate me with your deals all the time. So it's, having people like you around, conversations with Joe all the time, even our guy Charlie, who's running this whole thing, like his intelligence, that actually helps me when I'm nervous on things. It motivates me too, because I know I can rely on him to give me information. My wife, she's very driven, so it's like, these are people you need to have in your circle.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a lone wolf.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it sounds good in theory, but you need a support system. You need a team. You need people that think alike, and then also people that are going to help you raise your standards as well. So, well, let's wrap it up for today, but I want you guys to give one nugget for a potential aspiring investor, somebody that wants to get into real estate investing. And Diana, you can start off.
There's so much free content out there nowadays. Everything that I learned, I didn't have to pay 10 G's to get a mentor. Everything's online now. Palm of your hands. So much content. So I think really investing in yourself, taking your time to learn, and then just getting your feet wet and being around people that do the same thing or have been doing it for years. It's definitely very helpful to propel you in the right direction in investing.
Awesome.
Super agree. I would actually add too is we all have a story. We all have something that potentially held us down at some point, but you can't let that story define who you are. Your past is not you, and it's not the current you. So, just don't let things hold you back. Push forward, and you're the new person that you are today.
That's very powerful. Ronnie?
I think a lot of people get drawn to real estate because they think that they can make fast money really easy, but they don't understand the grind and the psychological challenge that you have to go through to make it and survive. There was I went through 8-9 months through a dark period. I couldn't sleep at night. I come to work, I'd be tipping over at my desk, falling asleep, and Joe.
You were talking about going back to the cars.
Man,
we were like, Ronnie, you're killing it, bro.
Keep
going.
I just went back to selling cars, but that would have been the biggest mistake of my life. But
again, being around people.
Yeah. If you're gonna get into real estate, my advice is to just if you're coming in this space, your drive and ambition is gonna be really the determining factor if you're successful or not.
100.
Fail forward.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
1000%.
Yeah.
So I would say your shortcut to success is always going to be to find a mentor. Find somebody that is doing what you aspire to do. And don't worry about the cost. Obviously, like Diana said, there's a lot of things on free, so don't buy people's courses. But find somebody that you can build genuine relationship with that actually cares intentionally about your success. So not just about what's in it for them, but they want to actually develop you as a person, your talent, your mental ability, because that's really like the fulfillment I get with all this is helping develop people, develop talent. And the thing is, it's like you can't really consider yourself mastering any part of anything unless you can actually replicate success with it. And so find somebody that you are comfortable with that can be your mentor, and that's going to cut your success in half the time, because they're going to tell you all the mistakes they've already made, and you're not going to have to make those mistakes. So that's what we got for you guys today. We hope you guys enjoyed the content, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Peace. Good job, guys.